Hey everyone, it's Bizarre Buffet Podcast.
Hi, you fucking perverts.
And
Are you
you
looking
too.
at me?
Hi.
Hi, how is everybody?
We all have big life things going on.
We do.
Yeah.
I just had my 36th birthday.
You did, and
Yeah.
it was a great birthday party.
It
It was
was.
the best birthday party of my life.
It was so good. There were drag queens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
and
club has everything.
Oh, that was everything. And you know what? I have giving dollars to them, and I was like, I would rather give my money to drag queens over strippers any day of the week.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then I got really offended when they were doing their dance and they wouldn't come up to me, and I was like throwing dollars in
I
their faces. And they
know.
wouldn't grab it from me.
I guess, were we not offering enough money?
I think you guys were like in the back.
we were in the
We
back.
were
in,
at
like
the
a
bar.
You were like in a weird spot.
At one point, I think I walked into like the middle of like the performance space and was like, "Take my dollar."
Take my fucking money.
Take my fucking
I'm
dollar.
trying to give you this.
My
Take it.
favorite, there was this one drag artist named Pepsi Chola.
Oh yeah, you liked her, the emo one.
Yeah.
And she's
Mazzy Star.
She lip sync Mazzy Star at me,
Mm-hmm.
and I lip synced it back, and then I gave her a tip.
Absolutely. It was a beautiful evening.
And then
was.
I took a picture with her, and she told Mark that he didn't know how to take a good picture because he wasn't using the flash.
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
like, thank you.
I know. I was also yelled at before by our friend Ashley and John Waters when we went to meet him, and they were like, "Why are you taking the picture at that angle?" So apparently, I'm not. I've been yelled at by
You've offended John
celebrity
Waters.
You've
before.
offended a lot of people.
I
with picture
have.
taking
Yeah,
skills.
apparently so.
So anybody, if you ever need your picture taken,
Don't
don't
ask.
ever ask Mark to do it.
Don't
Don't
ask
do it.
me. It's not a good idea. I'm bad at
There's
it.
going to be like an additional 30 pounds to every picture he takes of you.
Fuck it.
2
It's
extra
true.
chins.
It is very true. So, Mark, what are we doing
what are
here
we doing tonight?
you little pig?
Well, we are kind of going old school today, and we are having a guest star.
We haven't had a guest star since before COVID, right?
Correct. Actually,
No.
maybe a little bit after, but we haven't had one in like at least a year.
Who was our last guest star? Josh
Josh.
Matthews?
Josh Matthews.
A man and his dolls.
Hey, Josh.
That was
Actually, no. I think Ashley might have been.
Oh, true. That
shit,
when we did
yeah.
the my what was it? My second
My
life.
second life.
My
insert
second life.
episode artwork here.
Insert both episode artwork.
Yeah.
Not our best episode. So
Yeah.
sorry, Ashley.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, Tom.
But I guess before we patch him in,
Yeah.
and give him his like bizarre buffet introduction, we always start our episodes with a question.
Yes, we do.
So the question for this episode is, what is the weirdest thing that you've ever had in a home video or a home movie?
Oh my God.
Or do you have any like home video memories?
Yeah, I do.
All right, you go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. So there are a few home videos that I have that I salvaged from my wreck of a childhood, and they exist here in our storage unit at an undisclosed location. But I remember, speaking of Ashley from the Second Life episode, our friend, there was a home VHS that I had showed her years ago, like many years ago. My very odd brother had a video camera, I guess, that he was using. I had like this Polish nanny. I did not come from money, I will preface this, but
Oh, I thought you did.
yeah, but I had a Polish nanny, and my brother was videotaping her feet for some reason in the video.
Of course he was, 'cause
So yeah, he was a
He's
questionable
that, yeah.
child. But he was just videotaping Michelina's feet, Polish Michelina's feet.
Nicolina.
Yeah,
Feetolina.
Feetalina. Yeah, that's very specific, Jen. I'm sorry.
I don't know how to top that one.
No, don't worry about
I can
it.
top that one. I know that there is, or there was, I don't even know if we have it anymore. We probably don't. It's like when my mom moved and she sold our house that I grew up in, she literally got rid of everything. So I think all the home videos are like essentially gone.
No.
It's fine. It's whatever. I have many memories in my head. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
But I do remember it was my first birthday party. And what do kids do like when they have a birthday cake in front of them?
I mean, a number of things.
Like a little child. What do you think?
You would
that they
smash
do?
it or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm like putting my fingers in, and my grandmother is like in the background having a fucking heart attack.
With the Shirley Temple dolls?
Yes, Shirley Temple's own grandma.
Reference doll episode with Josh Matthews. Full
Again.
circle. Yeah.
So like in the video, just like rolling my sleeves up and like having a heart attack that like my 1-year-old hands were in the birthday cake. And then fast forward a little later, I had one of those like little cars. Oh, what's the brand?
Like those Barbie cars. that
No,
you could drive?
it wasn't a Barbie car. It was like a red car with a yellow roof.
Oh,
it's a
Fisher Price.
Price,
Yeah,
yes. Okay.
yeah.
Oh my god, I can't think tonight. Yes, it was a Fisher Price car, and I got it for my first birthday. And I was just learning to walk, and my cousin Chris was in it, driving it. My little ass just stood up, walked over to the Fisher Price car. It was all on video, and I pulled him out, and I got in, and I drove away.
She stole
So
the
like
car.
essentially like my first steps. Those were my first steps.
I love that so much. You're like, bye, bitches.
Bye,
First
bitches.
steps
Yeah.
were to steal a car.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love
What
that.
is that called?
Carjacking.
Carjacking, yes. I love that so much.
I guess for me, we didn't have like a video camera or like camcorder growing up, but
You weren't rich like Mark. With
No.
That's right, with
Yeah.
Michelina.
Michelina, little nanny. nanny Michelina.
we was po. So when I was 4 years old, we went to like Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and
Okay.
we borrowed a video camera from the next door neighbors, and that's like the only home video that we ever had. Mm-hmm. It's like the Myrtle Beach vacation, and it's mostly me. It's like
And your
footage-
feet?
No,
Like,
but there was a
Nanny
footage-
Michelina.
but there are feet involved in this. So
Feet make a
most
leader.
of the video, it's like me wearing like neon shorts, dancing, and it's like, oh, she's gonna grow up to be
Yeah, big old Mo.
fabulous. Yeah, big homo.
She's gonna be a
right? So
queen.
it's funny because if you watch the video, you're like, oh, this little 4-year-old's gonna be so fabulous.
She's going to be so gay.
And he is. I'm very gay. But also back to feet, like my mom is barely in
Is it her
in the video.
feet? Do you see Maureen's feet?
No, but there's like this scene of like I'm on like a merry-go-round and my mom is just like waiting for the ride to end. And the camera goes to my mom, and she looks at the camera. And she goes, "My feet are killing me."
that would be me.
So that's my home,
Hey, Mo.
home video story.
Your
Hey, Mom.
home video.
Yeah, home video. Oh my God, trademark that.
She puts the mo in ho-mo.
I love that. You're like the voguing boy.
Oh yeah, the Madonna Vogue
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
So as I said, we have a guest star for today. So before we patch him in,
Oh, patch him in.
I want to do
so
like
hard.
let's do a nice like formal
Yeah.
Intro.
intro.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, me too.
So our guest star for today, his name is Scott Miller. Scott has been collecting strange VHS cassette tapes since he was a child. But he claims that he collected the most amount of VHS tapes in the mid 2000s because in the mid 2000s they were cheaper.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which makes perfect sense. His tapes consist of a vast collection ranging from obscure found family videos, holiday themed adult entertainment videos, horny.
So horny.
One of them, for example, is Santa is Coming All Over Town.
Is it with C-U-M-M or C-O-M?
C-O-M.
It should be C-U-M.
He's literally coming all over town. Wow. He also had
So hot. Horny.
There's also like one that's an Edward Scissorhands porn parody called Edward Penis Hands.
Oh, I want more information on that.
Yeah.
I want to learn more
Yes,
about
we'll,
that.
we'll have to ask.
He also has another video in his collection that's women's coleslaw wrestling.
That too. I want to know more about the coleslaw.
I love
wrestling.
coleslaw.
Hopefully it's
I'm
fresh.
I'm a fan of KFC's coleslaw.
Lit.
KFC, sponsor this episode.
Yeah.
Please do.
And he also has like a plethora of these like really obscure instructional videos such as strategic cow deworming, the way of the future.
Oh, cow deworming.
Interesting.
I love that. It sounds like something that the Trumpettes would enjoy knowing
would.
about.
Probably.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, like the horse dewormers.
So Scott also has these zines which offer bold graphics designed by him. He also has had graphic artists featured in his zine that were part of Adult Swim.
Okay, very cool.
He also has a YouTube channel called Strange Tapes VHS where he creates these nostalgic, semi-comedic video collages.
Subscribe to Strange
Subscribe.
Tapes
Please
VHS.
And, these collages are of these obscure videos. So it's his way of showcasing it, kind of making like parodies, but also, what's the word? Archiving.
Yeah.
So he
Archival footage.
Yeah. So it's like a nice, it's a great channel to follow.
Yeah.
That's your thing. His content has also been posted on Found Footage Festival's YouTube channel.
Oh.
Which is a big deal. So
That's so cool.
So that being said, let's welcome Scott Miller from Chicago.
Hey, Scott Miller.
Hi, Scott.
So Scott, we spoke on the phone before, so hello again. This is Mark with a K, and then we have Jen.
Hi.
And then we have me, Mark, with a C.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I
Yeah.
think asked me to do this.
Yeah. So Scott, real quick, I just want to let you know. So we did some pre-recording, and I hyped you up. I talked about some of the collection pieces that you have, like the Edward penis hands
Yes.
and coleslaw wrestling.
Yeah.
We're all excited, and
I love coleslaw.
we just want to ask you like a bunch of questions about your work and your entire VHS collection.
Yeah, feel free. I'm an open book.
Yes, we love it.
Or an open cassette
Okay,
tape.
so you know what, Scott? I'm going to start with the first question. So I know that you have collected some home videos over your collecting years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, has there ever been a home video that you have found that you were like, I'm concerned about this? Like, should I alert the authorities?
That's a good question, Mark.
Like, thank you.
You mean like a snuff kind of thing?
Well, not even that. But I mean, it could be snuff, but like, have you ever found anything that has made you feel particularly uncomfortable?
Yes, absolutely. There's two that come immediately to mind. The first one, it's not exactly like I found it. A friend found it and gifted it to me, a friend in Seattle. And when I was out there, he was like, since you do this thing called Strange Tapes, trust me, you're going to want this tape. And I brought it home, and it was so mysterious, I had to pop it in right when I got home from that trip to Seattle. And when I popped it in, and a little like background on what it looked like, it was just basically a home recorded looking tape. It was a funeral for an old Vietnamese man.
Oh
And
my
they
God.
They taped everything. Like they taped close-ups of the body and really elaborately decorated casket with flowers and stuff. And I was watching this at like 2 a.m. at my old place. I'm just completely freaked out.
Yes, understandably so.
It kind of feels like a Faces of Death
Yeah.
Yeah, only real.
situation.
I don't know if it's a cultural thing or what, so I don't want to be sensitive or anything, but it was like, it felt like my VCR was haunted after I watched it.
Oh my God.
You know, I have heard though of people in the past like taking pictures of open caskets and
Yeah.
filming, the casket. I don't know if it's just a preference of people
Right.
Yeah.
or
I don't
like
know.
like you said, Scott, like a cultural thing.
Yeah, I don't. From my perspective, I feel like maybe cultural, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well, Scott, I saw this documentary. I don't know if it was from Vice, but it's on YouTube. And in some countries, there's cultures out there that dig up their dead ancestors and dress the bodies and clean them up. And I'm sure they're taking photos and recording it. So you could have tapped into something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know of all the customs and all that stuff. I know the Western view of death is much different than a lot of the rest of the world, and I actually think how a lot of the rest of the world views it is a lot healthier and a lot, it's better in a weird way. I don't know how to explain it, but we're so grim here.
We are.
Yeah, I feel like in other countries it's more of a celebration, whereas here it's more like you sit there and cry, motherfucker.
So Scott, you mentioned like this video that it was gifted to you by a friend. Is that normally how you kind of get your hands on these videos?
Good question.
Or how do you come across these?
A variety of ways. That is a pretty common way. People know that I do this, so they're like, "Hey, I found this. I have no use for it. I know you have a use for it." But then I also, for the longest time, I was thrifting a lot of this kind of special interest stuff. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of that just in the dregs of the thrift stores and kind of secondhand sources like that, flea markets. When I've been doing it long enough where I'd actually kind of got the tail end of when the video stores were closing out. I got a lot of interesting stuff from video stores for dirt cheap when they were just trying to get rid of stuff.
Yeah, I remember like in 2009 especially, like 2007 to 2009 when
Tail end of Blockbuster.
Yeah, when a lot of
R.I.P. Blockbuster.
Rest in peace, Blockbuster.
That's right.
But a lot of
Insert
these
R.
places were going out of business, and they would have like $5 VHS tapes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a time where it was even cheaper than that. Like, people just wanted to get rid of them. Like, I remember the thrift stores. It was like in my hometown. I would just leave thrift stores and like these used bookstores with stacks of VHS for like $0.25 a piece.
Wow.
So it was a very fruitful time to be a
That's
collector.
That's so fun because I remember once that where I grew up in South Jersey, Mark and I went into this adult porn shop essentially.
Yeah.
And they used to have the facades of the stores with like traditional VHS tapes. Mm-hmm. So I remember Mark and I, being the weirdos that we are, we didn't go in for the porn specifically, but we went in for the odd VHS tapes. And I honestly think that the store clerk was very perturbed by us because there was a box for the horror movie Silent Night, Deadly Night. And Mark went up to the shopkeep and he was like, "Do you happen to know where this VHS tape is?" And I think that
They were very confused.
yeah, I think they thought that because of the time that they were on Punk'd or something,
Yeah.
because we were actually looking for a regular movie that wasn't a porn.
I just wanted Silent Night, Deadly Night on VHS.
Was it the big box Silent Night?
Yes, the big
Yeah,
box.
the
Yes.
big box. That's right.
Because that's what all the adult all the porn, those big boxes.
Yes.
Well, about a year ago, Mark and I went to an estate sale. It was this like guy that lived in this like mansion, and he was an avid gay porn collector.
Yes, he was.
VHS,
Did you take some with you?
DVD. No, they wanted like $80
They
for
wanted
a
astronomical
freaking book.
prices.
But Mark and I went to this estate sale, and the listing of the estate sale said gay porn, lots
In
of
all
gay
caps.
porn, and it was all like those big box porns. But they wanted like a shit ton of money
Oh yeah.
for it.
No, thank
I
you.
was like, we don't even think we have a VCR that works.
So we were kind of bummed out about that. So,
Wow.
so Scott, I want to ask you. I kind of described your collection, but can you describe your collection to everyone? Because I know you're going to describe it better than I can, and do yourself more justice.
Sure, yeah, I can give it a shot. I think basically the foundation of Strange Tapes and what I do in my zine and on my YouTube show is basically I document and showcase the weirder VHS tapes that I come upon and the categories that that includes mostly special interests, so kind of unusual how-to videos, exercise videos, arts and crafts, but stuff like that. And then there's adult material with an unusual angle, usually.
Like the coleslaw porn.
Yeah, exactly. The women's coleslaw wrestling.
Yes.
Is a good example of that. And increasingly, I've been showcasing and into collecting DIY not home movies, but homemade movies. So people that are kind of just like complete amateur filmmakers who have made a movie just like in their backyard, basically, with no budget whatsoever.
Like what I used to do when I was a kid.
Yeah, I love that.
Try to make videos. And
Yeah.
It was a hot mess.
So that's kind of the scope of what I collect and what I cover, more or less.
I love it. So you have quite the eclectic mix. How many tapes would you estimate are in your collection?
That's a good question at this point because I just downsized. I'm always trying to downsize because just for space, but I think at the peak I've had like probably about 2,000 or 3,000.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I think at the moment, after a couple rounds of downsizing over the past year or two, probably around 800-ish,
Nice.
maybe, something in that range.
That's,
I'm just
yeah.
completely guessing, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, an estimate is fine because, I mean, once you get into like double, triple digits, it's hard to keep track of. But, I mean, how do you determine what to get rid of? Like, is there a criteria, like, for you personally in your mind? Like, okay, so you know what? I don't like coleslaw porn anymore. Like, what?
Over it.
Well, stuff like women's coleslaw wrestling, I'll probably be buried with that.
Oh, good.
Nice.
I'm not getting rid of that. The stuff is, I guess the criteria for downsizing is kind of like, it's so bizarre, but there's so much of this stuff that was only on VHS is on Tubi now, or streaming,
Yeah.
and this is more just kind of like general movies, or if I get the Blu-ray of something. I mean, as much as I love VHS, sometimes if it's one of my favorite movies, I'd rather see it very crisp and clean and new.
Yeah, understandable.
Stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, we want to talk about your YouTube channel, but before we get into that, I do want to ask you what your thoughts are. So, we just recorded an episode about, more unusual, obscure sex fetishes. One of them was people that were turned on by quicksand and being like drowned in quicksand. And there's like a whole plethora of these homemade amateur videos about quicksand. So I was just wondering if you've ever seen one or come across that, and two, like, what do you think?
Yeah. Does it do something for you?
Well, I actually have come across one. It's called Deadly Quicksand, and it was made by a production company called Wave Productions. They're actually based out of New Jersey and still, I believe, active. And they kind of make movies. They made to order movies so people could send in scripts.
Oh.
And often it was catering to people with certain fetishes, such as there's a lot of strangling ones, there's a lot of drowning ones, there's a lot of quicksand ones. But the only one I have is a weird superhero one that gets like, it's very bizarre. But the quicksand one is the only one of the definitely.
What's the other bizarre one that you mentioned?
Yeah.
What comes to your mind? Let's vibe here.
What's that?
So what's the other one that you mentioned in passing that was not quicksand related, but you were like, was obscure?
Oh, okay. Well, the other one I have from that company is called Thunder and Lightning, and it's like it's hard to really put into words what these movies are like. This Wave Production company's movies, because they're so custom and they're made with people's like desires in mind. So they try to make a movie, like a narrative movie out of it, but they just keep repeating the same scenes over and over again.
Oh.
And I would imagine it's so they get to see what they really want to see. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thunder and lightning.
I love that this is done in New Jersey because we're from New Jersey.
I know. Hello, New Jersey.
So,
Yes.
and
There's a great documentary about Wave Productions called Mail Order Murder.
Oh.
Oh, I
story.
gotta watch that.
Oh,
New
shit.
Jersey Wave Productions, so I recommend that. Yeah.
That is amazing. I can't wait to find that.
Yeah.
For real.
I like that a lot of it has to do with like suffocating,
Oh,
no
absolutely.
breathing.
Yeah.
Papa Roach reference.
yeah.
But also in New Jersey, we're like plagued with pollution, so it makes sense that we have this like fetish of not being able
Exactly.
to breathe in.
Yeah, we're also plagued with the Real Housewives of New Jersey,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's another
Oh
plague.
God.
But I low key love the Real Housewives of New
There's
Jersey.
listen, it's entertainment.
Don't tell anybody.
Flipping a table on Bravo for everybody, the world to see.
Or throwing your peg leg.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to talk about your videos and your YouTube content, because what I really appreciate is your videos. You do almost like video collages. I think they could be very comical sometimes, but I also see it as more of you trying to archive and preserve these videos. So do you want to just kind of walk us through your process and a little bit about your YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, sure. I think you hit the nail on the head. I'm going for comedic effect often with the collages. I've put together a few themed collages that I haven't put on YouTube, but I sell on DVD-R and VHS that are more lengthy, but there's an archival aspect to it as well. Yeah, if there's something I feel like I might have the only copy of, or I got it. Yeah, basically, if it seems like it's particularly obscure, I'll share the whole video on my YouTube. Do you want me to talk about my YouTube show?
Yeah.
I do a show. I started it just on my own as like kind of a way to try to promote the zine, but it kind of spiraled into its own thing, more so where basically it's called the Strange Tape Strange Show, and I kind of host it and share clips that you'd find in the zine, the weirder clips that I stumble on, and it kind of morphed into interviewing people and watching clips with people. I watch cat videos with the kid from Gummo.
Wait, you watch cat videos with what?
Have you ever seen the movie Gummo?
Absolutely.
That's my childhood. No, not quite, but a little bit.
We love Gummo.
We do.
I actually still haven't seen it. It's on my list.
Oh my God.
You'll love it.
Wait, my favorite, I don't know if you know all the lines, but there's this one scene where the girl's like, I want a mustache, damn it.
Yeah. I want to. You touched our coochie. But please feel free. I'm sorry for us interrupting you, but continue on your Gummo, the Gummo
Cat video.
cat video.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So a running theme of that movie and Gummo is that these bad kids in this disheveled town like find dead cats and sometimes kill cats. Pretty dark.
Mm-hmm.
So I had one of the kids from Gummo on my show, and to redeem him, we watched cat videos together.
Oh, that's amazing.
I love that. That's
Super good
hilarious.
sport about it. Was very, he's a grown man now, and he was smart and kind and had funny things to say. So that was a lot of fun. But
That's
Yeah, that's
fantastic.
Really cool.
I remember one of the kids picked up, and was it, I don't know if they were talking about one of the dead cats, but the one kid was like, it ain't got much meat on them.
Yeah. Ain't got much meat on it.
Yes.
Wait, can I ask you? So my memory recall is lackluster because I drink and also I'm miserable. But great combination. But so in Gummo, is it the boy who wears the bunny ears that you had on your show?
No, it's kind of it's the kid. His name's Jacob Reynolds, and he's kind of the poster kid for Gummo. He's like on the cover. He's got the weird hair.
Oh, so
Spaghetti.
To him.
from the bathtub, eating the spaghetti in the bathtub?
Exactly.
Oh my God, you are a legend. I am so jealous of you for doing that. That's amazing.
If I knew this about you, I would have worn a better outfit.
If I knew this, we would have flown you to New Jersey.
Oh my God.
And we would have went on a spaghetti bathtub marathon.
When I had a phone conversation with you a few weeks ago, right, just to set you up with everything, I wish you told me this.
Now we're blaming you, Scott. Sorry.
It's all your fault.
So Scott, I have a question for you because I was on your Instagram and I'm looking at your pictures and I want to know about the use of the hands that you use in every picture with your videos.
Yeah.
It's like they're like Halloween hands, right?
Yeah, that's just a monster hand that I found at a thrift store one time, and I didn't find a pair. I just found one. And it's kind of like, it just started as like kind of a dumb little joke because I remember seeing there's a lot of VHS Instagrams, and it's always like dudes just holding their tape. And I just thought it was kind of like, I don't know why I thought it'd be funny to like just have a bizarre hand behind.
I love the extra touch.
I think it's amazing too. And we were just curious, like, what is the reason behind it?
Was
Or
there a
if
reason
there's not,
or
whatever.
a meaning behind it? No, I love it.
Yeah, it was kind of just like, there's not a real reason other than I thought it was funny, and it was different from just some dude's hand, which I see thousands of every day on the Instagram. So
That's
It's like
so
your
fun.
own take on it. I love it.
Yeah, that's so fun.
It's very like nostalgic.
Yeah,
It is.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like Halloween was better.
Absolutely. Because also too, when Jen brought it up, I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh well, like, you know when you watch like an art video and like an archivist
Yeah.
or archivist poll?
Are you thinking of like those art archivists that were the white gloves?
Yes. So I thought, I was like, maybe it was a play on that.
Yeah.
So when Jen brought that up, I was like, that's a brilliant question because I'm like, I wonder if it's a take on that. But I love that you just found these hands and you're like, let me change it up from what everybody else is doing. I got much more deep with it, but that's okay.
I like that. I like where you went with that.
Yes. Thank you.
We like to overthink things around
Yeah,
here.
that's what we do.
All right, so we're gonna, wrap this up. But before we wrap up, I just wanted to ask if there's anything you want to promote on our podcast.
There's two things. Well, a few things.
Yeah, go for it.
If I may, check out my Princess zine. It's a self-published magazine called Strange Tapes VHS Oddities on Earth. You can get it at my web store. And then check out the Strange Tapes Strange Show on the Found Footage Festival's YouTube channel. I've been posting new episodes, or I'm trying to post as many new episodes as I can over the summer here. I'm getting back in the swing of it. I'm actually working on a documentary, so I wanted to share that. I just started shooting a documentary and working on a documentary with my friend Joe from Found Footage Festival, and the subject matter is the world's largest ball of paint.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really cool.
And where does this ball of paint exist? I like that balls.
Alexandria, Indiana.
Oh, wow. I was hoping you were going to say New Jersey.
Well, we figured it might as well give it another shot.
Right?
So that's that's all I wanted to. That's a lot, I guess, but I hope that's all right.
No, it's absolutely perfect. And just for everybody listening, can you give us your Instagram handle where all of our listeners can follow you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's at Strange Tape Zine, and I think there's underscores in between each of those words, so Strange Tape Zine.
Yeah. And we'll post links to your Instagram in our post for this episode and, in the episode details on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all those things so everybody can find you, and YouTube, of course.
Scott, you're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You are, Scott. We're going to have you back on for
Yeah.
like another episode where we just
This
have
is-
an hour of bullshitting
Yeah,
with
this
you
is-
because you're a good time.
Yeah.
You're all a good time too. I really enjoyed this.
Oh, thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk about your passion and to share it with our listeners. I think a lot of people are going to love and enjoy this and follow you as a result of it.
Yeah.
And everybody better.
And
Just
I-
putting it out there.
And I just have to say, I think what you're doing, it's not only really cool and entertaining, I think it's incredibly important, especially now that we live in this world of AI and TikToks. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think what you're doing of, you know, archiving everything is super valid, super important,
Yeah.
and really cool. So,
It is. And coleslaw porn.
Coleslaw is
Fuck yeah. We're going to get KFC to sponsor you,
Yeah.
Scott.
That'd be awesome. I can keep in mind.
Thank you.
all right,
Thank
Scott,
you.
we're gonna let
All
you
right,
go.
thank
and
you,
Get to
Scott.
that big ball of paint.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Scott.
Yes. We'll see you soon,
bye.
babe.
Bye.
Hi.
Bye-bye.
Wow, Scott.
thank
we
you.
love Scott.
That was
Thank you.
awesome.
Angel.
What a
Just
fantastic guest.
Yes.
call someone up and
Yeah,
there
just
you
give him a
go,
call.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, this is why we need to do another gorilla phone calls.
We
Yeah.
do. We
right?
have to. We're
Jen, do you
overdue.
agree?
We're overdue for that one.
Mark's
Yeah.
always on the fence about it, but
Because I just want people to answer their phones.
well,
but
we've had good
now
luck.
now we have Scott, so we
have
can just
Scott.
exactly.
bug him.
Scott, thank you. You're amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the meantime, please make sure to follow Scott on Instagram. Follow his, subscribe rather to his YouTube, just like you
Please.
should subscribe to our YouTube.
Exactly. Our
where
Instagram, our Facebook.
Instagram, yes, at Bizarre Buffet everywhere. Patreon.
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 Whenever I say Patreon, for some reason, I feel like I say it like how Moira Rose would say it.
Patreon.
She's like,
Patreon.
Yeah, yes, Patreon. But anyway, you know what our fucking name
Yeah.
is. You
So-
know where to find
So
us.
yeah, follow us on YouTube, any podcast platform, listen to us, subscribe to our Patreon, help us
Yeah.
out financially.
Absolutely.
We need the money.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And until next time, I am the Colonel Sanders coleslaw from KFC.
Oh my God. And I am a funeral home video.
Yes. Vietnamese funeral home video. Yes.
And I am VCR cleaner because it's what gay people used to inhale.
Oh,
before-
yeah, for
really?
poppers.
For poppers. So
Yeah, please
I
be
am
kind. Rewind.
Be kind, rewind.
Yes.
Be kind, rewind.